Hey guys! We all know and love the iconic movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But what many people do not know is that this world filled with chocolate, candy, and more sweets than we can ever imagine is actually based on Roald Dahl's childhood experience of being part of a chocolate bar tasting trial. In fact, many of Roald Dahl's books are inspired by his real-life experiences. Roald Dahl wrote a total of 19 children's books, 8 adult novels, 5 screenplays, and countless short stories and poems. Among some of his most notable titles include Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, and the BFG. Roald Dahl even wrote the screenplay for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. These stories span from the genre of fantasy to horror and mystery to historical fiction. For his works, Dahl won countless awards, some of his most notable being the World Fantasy Convention Lifetime Achievement Award in 1983 for his work as a children's author, as well as the Millennium Child's Award for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2000, and the Good Book Guide Best Books of the Past 20 Years Award for the BFG in 1997. Roald Dahl lived an adventure-filled life, prompting his literary energy in his latter years. Due to the outbreak of World War II, Dahl enlisted in the Royal Air Force, but after being injured in the war, he became a spy for Britain in Washington, D.C. There he met several times with C.S. Forester, a writer of naval warfare stories who encouraged Dahl to start writing stories about the war. Only weeks later, Dahl published his first short story in the Saturday Evening Post. This publication prompted his quick success in adult literature. Dahl was not only an author, though. He was also an inventor. After his son Theo was hit by a car during a trip to New York City, Dahl collaborated with 2 scientists to invent the Wade-Dahl-Till valve, a valve that drains excess fluid from the brain. Though his son did not need this invention in order to recover, thousands of other people's lives were saved due to the valve. While Roald Dahl did not have great success with his first children's story, The Gremlins, he became serious about writing children's literature after telling his own children nightly bedtime stories. These stories were often based on his children's favorite literature characters, but they soon morphed into his own creations. Dahl wrote a majority of his children's books in his tiny garden shed in his backyard orchard. He worked for 4 hours every day religiously, working from 10 a.m. to noon and from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. He always sat in his fluffy red chair, which he customized to help the pain from his lasting injuries from the war. Next to his chair, he placed on the table each of his Cadbury chocolate wrappers, which he formed into a ball, which reached the size of a cannonball by the time of his death. By far, Roald Dahl's favorite character of all time was the big-eared best friend, the Big Friendly Giant, who spoke his own language, in which Dahl called Garfunkel. Before writing a novel focusing on his beloved character, the BFG made his first appearance in the book Danny the Champion of the World as a character in a bedtime story. But what could be better than a dream-catching giant? Even Roald Dahl himself pretended to be the BFG as he snuck onto a ladder into the windowsill of his children and grandchildren and pretended to blow good dreams into his grandchildren's mind. Well, this is the story we are about to read. The adventure-filled historical fiction and fantasy novel by Roald Dahl, the BFG.